to another edition of Sleepless in St. Louis. I'm your host, Pete O'Shea, and we are here at Marshall Home and Mattress Direct, the big showroom right here in Bridgeton, 925 Northwest Plaza in Bridgeton. We're here today 10 to 8. Come on over. This is one of the new Marshall Home Collection sets right here we'll be talking about during the show. You can meet our friend. He's here hanging out today. He's been fed. Don't worry. Come on over. The Staginator, Brenda Williams, is here. And I understand there's a Staginator Padawan now that is now learning the arts and the crafts and the joys of staging. So you've got that going for you too. Come on over here today. Rugapalooza continues on. We got so many cool rugs, so many cool things to show you. And I've noticed too that it's staying hot. You know, it's like warm still. We expected a fall, but it's still kind of hot, right? So you got to come over for the Relaxopedic pillows that are cool. Releasing the new Relaxopedic mattress has cool on the top. The mattress protectors do as well. Everything does, so that you can beat the heat, not have to kick your foot out from underneath the blanket, and you can kick the electricity up 2 or 3 points. That's a huge difference, guys, when you think about it. The fact that you don't have to drink 4 Monster drinks the next day or go to Starbucks 11 times. And the fact that you can put that AC up a couple of clicks, right? You take those two savings and the mattresses and the pillows and the mattress protectors and all that pays for itself. And on top of that, you get the best night's sleep. You start doing some self-care, which is very, very important. Everybody neglects it. And you can get everything you need. So come on over today. There's staging to be had for everything, whatever you need. Living room, dining room, kitchen, bedroom, lamps, everything. Pillows, blankets, all of it. Right here, Mattress Direct and Marshall Homes. Now, our guest today is someone I kind of know. I'm kind of familiar with this lady. I've known her for a very, 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 very long time. In the last 5 years, I have been married to her. Seems like a very lot longer than that, though. I'm just being honest. It just seems like a lot longer than that. Oh, I'm sorry. You're already sitting there.
Yeah.
I thought you weren't here yet. I thought in the opening I'm usually by myself. I didn't even see you sitting there. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Pastor Granny Shanny Fitzpatrick, Elizabeth Fitzpatrick O'Shea. You've got quite the title, quite the name going for you.
Are we going with Granny Shanny?
Granny Shanny,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Pastor Granny Shanny. I kind of like that. It's got a nice spin to it.
It does have a nice spin.
You know, welcome to the show, dear.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Good to finally get a chance to talk to you in depth a little bit. I've got quite a lot of questions.
You've asked me questions for years.
I have. That was how we met, everybody, in case you're curious. She was a guest on my talk show in St. Pete. You came in.
St. Pete, Florida.
Yeah, St. Pete, Florida. You blew the room away. You got everybody going. And I looked after, I said, did everybody see that? Did everybody see that hurricane that just came in the building? And Tommy, my board, I went, what? So we know he was already passed away for 3 years, even though he was still alive and sitting there. We all know this about Tommy. Love him to death, but he's been dead for years, especially from the waist down. Anyway, and you've been a ray of sunshine in my life ever since. You and your dad were multiple guests on the show over a 10-year period. We did comedy benefit shows for you for your mission trips and the like. So we have quite a little bit of background together, you and I. We're married 5 years, but I know you have 15.
And it seemed like we were always speaking at the same conferences or the same retreats.
We were booked on several of the same
Yeah.
conferences and retreat. I showed you up every single one of those times. And what? I mean, you couldn't follow me that one time. Remember? You went right after me, and you couldn't do it.
No.
Come on, I
I've-
literally brought the house down. They
No.
were going mad. They were chanting my name. I even said to them, don't encourage me. They did. It got really crazy, and then you went. So it was kind of like you knew what it was like to follow the Beatles that night on Ed Sullivan, right?
Wow. You're going to throw the Beatles in there too?
I'm just saying, isn't it kind of like that?
No.
Was it for you? Wasn't that kind of like that? You had to. I remember that day. It was a huge. They were full of people. I get up there, and then you had to speak right after me. Wasn't that intimidating for you?
Not at all.
What are you talking about?
You know, everyone says you have this commanding presence and you're very, scary, intimidating, mafia-ish.
Nah, you did.
You don't scare me at all.
It's all a facade. You know that. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Everybody hears the New York accent, and they think I'm in the mafia. But you know better than that. That I'm kind of a, Sissy Mary. a
You
little
are
bit.
Sissy Mary.
But I know this about myself, and I'm cool with that. But now, let's get started from St. Louis. You were born and raised here in St. Louis.
Just right down the street.
In Hazelwood.
Yes.
Here's the things I know about your growing up years. Number one, you used to dress up like Sandy and walk around your neighborhood singing "You're the One That I Want" or something like that. Is this true?
Well, I was a dancer, first of all. So I had the leotard
Yeah.
and the tights.
Okay. That doesn't mean you do it, but okay. Go ahead.
and you just pull them down, you know, down under
But you
your
was like
shoulder.
9 at the time.
My mom would do my hair.
Wait, you actually did the curlers and the whole thing like
I
she
would wear
did?
my mom's high heels, my mom's red high heels, and I would pretend smoke a white Barrett as a cigarette. What? Doesn't every little girl dress like a...
But you went out into the streets like that. You didn't just do that in your house. You went around the neighborhood
Yeah.
doing that. And you
Yeah.
were, how old were you when this happened?
Well, Grace came out when I was in kindergarten, so, you know.
No, but I'm hearing it was
5.
later than that. No, I'm hearing you were like 9, 10, and 11. This was still going on.
Well, I keep it up.
Yeah, you kept going.
Yeah, I still have, you know, a costume.
You still have it. Wait a minute. We're married 5 years. I don't know you have a Dirty Sandy contest. How did I not know you have the cop? Oh my God, she has the costume. Woo-wee. Hold on a second. You have a Dirty Sandy costume?
Dirty Sandy is not her name.
What is the
Sandy
name of it?
Olsen from Sydney, Australia. Yeah.
But no, but it's the part at the end when she wears where she goes, you know,
Olivia
rogue.
Newton-John,
Where she goes
yeah.
rogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I also hear tell that around that same time in a talent show, you sang "Grease Lightning," including all of the dirty words.
I did not sing it. I danced to it, dressed like a cheerleader.
And you were how old?
5.
You were 5. You were 5.
And I won a blue ribbon.
But in that song, there are several lines in there
Yeah.
that we cannot share here. You know, use your own crayons, people. You know what we're talking about. That are words that a 5-year-old should probably not say out loud. Certainly not during.
Yet the school approved the song. I had to bring the LP in and play it for the principal or somebody.
Did they not hear it?
approved-
Did they not listen closely enough?
Well, I don't even think my parents really heard it until I was performing it live, and then my dad's like, "Oh my God."
So wait a minute.
That's
He
my
kind of
daughter.
coached you to do the routine,
We
right?
practiced in the basement for weeks.
So, and at
Yeah.
this point, it sounds like that movie Little Miss Sunshine at this point. So wait a minute. So,
We didn't have any dead bodies
but,
in the
but
trunk of the
you didn't
car.
have any, okay,
no.
thank God. He didn't know at that point that the words that were, because
No.
there's a couple of words in there
There's a
now.
few.
There's
yeah,
a few
and
words.
There's a lot of innuendo.
Lot of innuendos in there.
No, it didn't
stuff.
process
He didn't process it because he's
until
just
the
helping
live
his kid do
performance.
what she loves and make.
Yeah.
So then now you're in front of the whole school and you're doing it, and that's when your dad, Pastor Daniel, realizes that he let you go up there at 5 years old singing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're looking like this and
Yeah.
Grease Lightning.
Yeah.
How'd that go over?
Oh, my dad was so proud of me.
What?
Yeah, I got a blue ribbon.
You got a blue ribbon for that? Do you still have it? We can hang it up like
I
the
do.
wall of.
It's
We
in-
could hang it at the house like the wall of Gaylord.
Yeah. 7th place.
7th place.
Mediocre performance.
All right,
Yeah.
do you still hear about that from people? You're back in St. Louis now. Occasionally you run into the neighbors. I've seen you do that when we go visit Mom over there in Hazelwood. Do they still give you garbage about that? Do they say, hey, remember that time when you were Dirty Sandy? Remember that time when you did Grease Lightning
No,
and all
it's
that
just,
goofy stuff?
That's who I am.
But I mean, you know, that's kind of stuff I would give you crap about if I knew that about you before.
They
Like,
give me other kinds of crap.
Like what?
Yeah. Well, you know,
what else did you do while you were living here in St. Louis that you might get mocked for?
I got sick from Coldwater Creek. Does that count?
Okay, let's talk about that for a second. So, Coldwater Creek was contaminated by the Manhattan Project. They literally just poured the radioactive materials into the water here and into the grass, mostly right by the airport, right?
Buried.
Just
Yeah,
buried
by
it
the
right by
airport.
the airport in the grass. And that's in the water, and you played in that creek all your entire childhood. Fast forward now to, I won't tell everybody how old you are.
Better not.
I won't tell them how old you are, though you guys could do the
But
math.
I am married to you.
She's married to Snow on the Roof, and she's a grandmother, so do the math yourself. But in all that time, you grew up playing in that creek, and there's a Facebook page with hundreds of thousands of people now that were all affected by the radioactive material that's in that creek growing up, correct?
I want to say every single female that I went to grade school with or junior high with has some major illness.
Major illness, like say, like cancer and stuff like that. You have several autoimmune diseases. You have several other diseases that were all brought on by this. But a lot of people, a lot of the ladies, you're seeing cancer,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, breast cancer, and
All kinds of unique things.
because wherever that water, if you played in it, you know, it seeped in, and then you know it's in your
It's
blood
in the
system.
ground. It's in, yeah.
And really, not much was ever done about it over the years. Still to this day,
But we
there's-
didn't know.
But still to this day,
Yeah.
even just recently, they had to close one of the schools because of radioactive material, and it's still kind of being for lack of a better way of putting it, it's still kind of getting swept under the carpet, so to speak, isn't
Yeah,
it?
my mom used to sub at that school. I mean, it's an issue in all of North County, St. Louis, not just, Hazelwood, Florissant, here and near Bridgeton, Coldwater Creek's a couple houses from
Isn't that ironic?
from our house that we live in now.
For 20-something years, that creek contaminates your body to the point where you're literally a professional patient at this juncture, more or less, right? And now we moved like 2 feet away from
I know, right?
from the same damn creek.
I know, can't get away from it.
What were we thinking?
We didn't know.
Well, we were coming back here because, again, after Hurricane Ian destroyed everything we owned, you were born and raised here, Mom was here, your sister is here, our 4 nephews are here, and so we needed to come back to family after all that. We needed the warm embrace that was family. Not only that, we needed someplace to live, but on top of everything else,
Yeah.
we needed that warm embrace that we immediately got from your sister, the 4 boys, and your mom, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so now we're back here in St. Louis. Is it trigger a lot for you? There's a lot of memories. Is there a lot of things that have changed? What's the biggest difference between you grew up here, 20 years, you were
Been
here,
away for over 20 years.
been away for
Yeah.
over 20 years, and now you come back. What did you notice right away that's different? What did you notice that's the same?
Well, being that I've been mentoring in schools this past semester, and getting to go to a lot of city schools, North County schools, private schools.
You went to about 100 schools, more than that, right? This last couple of months.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
5 a week, more. right?
That is what I've noticed the biggest change, because the school where I used to go feels prison-ish now. There's metal detectors, there's,
So the same school you went to now, you had to go there one day to do Chad. You were doing suicide prevention talks in the school, and now there's cages up. It's like a prison.
yeah, you have to go through so many locked doors and pass through many security guards and get patted down, and
You got patted down there?
yeah, it's like TSA.
Really? To just go into the school? And what was it? And one of the schools you even got locked in, didn't you? Like there was a big brawl like right in front of your face, wasn't there?
Yeah, that's, and I think that's more commonplace than it was when I grew up here.
So that's the biggest change you saw since in the 20 years you're gone. You come back. The schools are different. The overall neighborhoods are different. What?
Both,
Both.
yeah.
And what's the same? What as you look at it now?
Well,
20
being
years
that
is the same.
I've gained 25 pounds since moving back. Yeah, sorry.
I didn't notice that.
Well, because you love me.
Oh, I had no idea. Somebody needs to send me a memo. Okay, go ahead.
The food's the same.
The food is definitely the same,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so
food, yes.
as soon as we got here into town, we didn't even go say hi to your mom. We went right to Lion's Choice.
Of course.
She's calling. Where are you guys? Aren't you in town? We thought you
We're
were here
getting
already.
extra
And
seasoning
we
and
said we're
au
getting
jus.
extra
Yes.
seasoning and au jus. We'll be there in a minute.
Leave
And
us alone.
then we had to go down and get the bacon sandwich right away.
Brown Candy Kitchen, O'Connell's Pub. You got to make the rounds. Faraci Pizza,
What was the thing when you were coming back you wanted you were itching for and hankering for the most?
Oh, O'Connell's Cheeseburger.
O'Connell's cheeseburger or O'Connell's roast beef sandwich?
Cheeseburger.
Really?
Medium.
See, because if I'm going there,
With
I
a side
gotta
of
get.
Mayfair dressing.
I gotta get the roast beef when you're there. As soon as you come in, you smell it. Okay.
You got your thing, I got mine.
Whatever makes you happy. And what do you want to say to the people of St. Louis now that you're back? You want to tell them to go to hell, or what do you want to tell them?
No.
No,
Never.
what do you want? I'm just kidding. What do you want to say to the folks here now that you're back? And we've been here almost, it seems like years, but it's only not even 1 year yet.
No, thanks for welcoming me back and taking in this transplant from New York/Florida.
What I wanted to say, and I thought I was setting you up for it by doing the goofy thing by saying go to hell, is that so many people were kind to us when we got here. All right, right? They know that we lost everything in the storm, down to even like the dishes and the food, all that stuff, the table,
Basically,
everything.
all of our furniture was donated to us.
Everything that
Yeah.
we have now in our current house was donated to us.
Although I would like this.
This is a really nice
Yes.
couch, isn't it? This is the
Being
Webster.
that, physical touch is my love language.
Is that right?
Yeah. I didn't know if you know that.
I wasn't aware.
I'm all over this couch.
It's soft like a mink coat, isn't it? This is the Webster, and it's new. It's part of the new Marshall Home collection, and it is absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
I know.
And it's
like
so
chenille or
super
something.
soft.
I'm
You
all
just
over
want to
this.
crawl into it. I just want to take a nap. All right, let's do this. We're going to take a break on this broadcast, but when we come back, I got to find out more about this Dirty Sandy costume.
No, you don't.
No, I really do. I need to know more about that. Then I want to find out about these mission trips that you went on, and then I want to get a little bit into. You posted something yesterday. One of the things that Life in Action Mission, our 501c3, does is in Operation Restore Hope, we provide the money for people if they've been branded as an actual sex slave. We help them afterwards to turn that branding into a beautiful tattoo, to take what was ugly and turn it into something beautiful, right?
Absolutely.
So, okay, so there's something beautiful, here's something ugly, and we'll be right back with that in a minute.
A mattress is a difficult thing. When you visit a factory direct showroom in your neighborhood, you don't only get just the best price, but you also get the expertise of a neighborhood sleep specialist. They'll help you find the mattresses that were designed for your particular body type, the position you get to sleep in. We'll get you the guaranteed lowest price on any style of mattress, but working with a sleep specialist to find out which one's gonna fit you and the way you get to sleep is gonna ensure you get the best possible night's sleep. You'll sleep better on a Missouri-made mattress from your neighborhood Mattress Direct. Getting a mattress locally is like going to the farmer's market. When you shop Mattress Direct, you're shopping at a local company, meeting with a sleep specialist that lives in your neighborhood. You're gonna get the fresh, best possible value before it's been marked up and shipped across the country. There's no mystery involved. When the mattress is closer to you when it's built, it doesn't have to go as far to get to you. It's gonna get to you faster and you're gonna get a better night's sleep right away. You'll sleep better on a Missouri-made mattress from your neighborhood Mattress Direct.
Hey, it's Lux, your new comfort consultant here at Mattress Direct, and we're in spring cleaning mode, making room for new models from Serta, Campbell, Beautyrest. Relaxopedic even has the new hybrid mattresses that are coming. So comfy, you can rest, relax, and recover. But today, last year's Serta iComfort mattresses are not $2,999, they're less than $999. Last year's models, demo models, floor samples, king size, tons of queen size models at major discounts. You can get a great deal on brand name mattresses at Mattress Direct at any of Mattress Direct locations. Come see a sleep specialist in store or check us out at stlmattressdirect.com.
Rule number 1 for logs all night, still sleep all right. Find your inner slumberjack with Mattress Direct. Sleep rules.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is your show, Sleepless in St. Louis. It's for St. Louis, by St. Louis, done in St. Louis. Right here at Marshall Home and Mattress Direct. We're at the worldwide headquarters, the big showroom where there's all kinds of furniture for your bedroom, your living room, your dining room, and you got mattresses galore here too, all factory direct, many ways to finance it, and come right on in here. 925 Northwest Plaza in Bridgeton. The lovely and talented Brenda Williams is here today. She's been doing furniture for her entire adult career. She is the very best at it, putting everything together. She's the one who picked out the new Marshall Home collection. She's the one that stages all of our stuff and makes it all look so beautiful. And she's here today at 8 o'clock to help you with everything you need for every single one of your houses. I want you to keep tuning in. Next Tuesday on the show, I'm so excited about that. America's cleanest comedian, David Graham, is going to be here. Cleanest,
Wow.
yes. He's known as America's cleanest comedian. He's open for Lionel Richie, lots of other people. I'm going to go toe-to-toe with him because you know I only work clean now too because I'm married to a pastor, so I can't do dirty shows anymore.
Yeah,
gotta only
but your
do the
old
clean stuff.
material is really funny. I gotta be honest.
It is, but
yeah.
you can't use it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like I just look at Levi, I look at our grandkids, and I'm like, wait, if I can't say it in front of them, then I can't say it in front of the world.
True.
And so most of what I used to do in the nightclubs that was funny, I can't do anymore. Also, comedian Mike McGuire is going to be here. He's doing something local in town called Comedy Sports, and what they do is they dress in uniforms, two teams of comedians, and they fight for points with the audience to win.
They're kind of like, whose line is it anyway?
Kinda, yeah, kind of Who's Line That Anywhere, but with a little bit more into it and a little bit more. I'm going to help them out. I'm going to be part of it. I'm actually going to do a show with them.
Oh, nice.
I'm excited for it. He's going to be here next Tuesday as well. And then Thursday, my buddies from the Kirkwood, Webster Grove Times newspaper are going to be here. This is the three guys who they worked there at the newspaper, and then the owner was going to shut it down during COVID because he was running out of money, and the three of them mortgaged everything they had and bought the paper from him and have risen it back up to a wonderful
And you were
place.
telling me it's like old school, like
Old school. They actually print it up. They put it up.
smells like it did.
They
when
glue
you,
it. They put it up
when
on the
you
wall.
used to do journalism.
When I used to
Back
be,
in the
when I used to work at a newspaper, and I used to stand right next to Marconi when he was inventing the radio. Yes, that was me.
Aw.
But they do. They put them up on the boards. They glue them. The whole thing. All right. Our guest here with us today is my wife, Pastor Shannon Elizabeth Fitzpatrick O'Shea. Geez, that's a mouthful to get out. You just like keeping names. You just keep adding names.
Well, when I finally added the O'Shea,
Which took 4 years, by the way. Let's get into that for a second.
4.5.
4.5 years before you stick the O'Shea on there. Are you hedging your bet? Are you looking for something better? What are you doing, lady?
well, maybe.
Aha! I knew it. I knew it.
No,
So you're
but
looking
couldn't-
for an upgrade.
I couldn't not have the Fitzpatrick on there. If you're gonna have an Irish name, you might as well have 3.
Here,
Thank
here.
you.
You can't have enough Irishness in your
Yeah.
name, so you have it all. Shannon Elizabeth Fitzpatrick O'Shea.
Correct.
It doesn't get much more Irish than that.
No.
I mean, do you bathe in potatoes?
Well, you know I do.
Yes, you do. You do.
Yeah.
You love a potato. All right. So we were on break. We're coming back. All right. So you told us in the first thing that you still have the Dirty Sandy costume. Is this true?
Yeah.
Where is this? How come I've yet to see it in 5 years we're married? We have not introduced this into our lives yet?
I'll
Why
get
not?
it out later.
Yeah, we're going to have to work about that later. All right, let's get into some of the more important things. You and your dad, the late Pastor Daniel Fitzpatrick, who's another reason why you keep your name in your name, for him, because we loved him so, and he was our patriarch. He was the co-founder with you of a nonprofit 14 years ago here in St. Louis. It's almost 15 years now.
Right.
Life in Action Mission. Tell me about the genesis of that here in St. Louis almost a decade and a half ago.
Okay. So I was serving at a large, I guess you would say, mega church in Clearwater, Florida. Dad was working here in St. Louis, living here in St. Louis, and we decided it was time. I was in a meeting where we were selecting furniture, of all things, for a
Nice tie-in.
Yeah, right. For a new structure, a new facility for the church, and as we were itemized going through the list of how much a trash can would cost, how much the chair would cost, it really bothered me.
It hit you at that point.
It bothered me in such a way that I know how many people I could feed with that money.
Wow.
And I know that there's a better way to do ministry for us. I'm not saying megachurch is wrong, but for us at the time, this is not what God was calling us to do.
So, but again, you're in that big church and you're seeing that. A lot of money coming in, but a lot of money getting spent, and not necessarily in the best way that serves the people that gave that donation in the
my
first
opinion,
place
yeah.
or the neighborhood around it. The
Yeah.
church is where we are.
Great
it's
church,
not a building.
doing a lot of great things, but in my opinion, that was not being a good steward of God's money.
And a church isn't this big grandiose building that we over decorate or
It's
we make
you and
all...
me. We are the church.
It's
the
wherever
body,
you're
yeah,
standing, right?
yeah.
And so you guys constructed a model that's based on the Acts model of church, which was more of a home church, outreach, be in the community, preach the
Not
gospel.
a brick and mortar facility,
Right.
not a four-wall facility, but you are the church. You're going out, you're ministering to the homeless, you're talking to the migrants, you're making sure people have what they need benevolence-wise.
So like St. Francis said once, he said, preach the gospel and when necessary, use words. So that's basically it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Revelations 12:11 is your basic one, right? Give us that one.
You overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, which is why our stories are so important. You're a storyteller, I'm a storyteller. Stories are what change our lives. And you don't shrink back as to fear death. So we kind of live our lives that way. So every dollar that does come in goes right back out into the community.
And I've seen that now by being part of it with you guys the last 10 or 12 years, literally. And I was telling somebody this yesterday, we were telling somebody yesterday, your dad died basically penniless, but yet he gave away millions of dollars worth of stuff, gigantic tankers filled with medical supplies, food, clothing, all kinds
And
of
even
stuff.
a business here in St. Louis, in our city, would donate he would go with a U-Haul every couple weeks and just pick up supplies that they would give us. And he would ship them to me. I would get them on a tanker to Haiti or the Dominican Republic, and then we'd have teams that would meet those people there. us included, and we would take them to the people that needed them the most.
So here's an interesting part of this, guys. So you think it's real easy to do something like that, right? So you get a whole bunch of stuff donated, and then you just send it by tanker to Haiti, and that's all good, right? Well, no. Because here's what's going to happen. If you just do that much, and that's all you do, the guys that are supposed to be checking it in are just going to keep it.
Sure.
And it's never going to get to the people that you need to get it, the people that are hungry, the people that are desperate for clean water or for medical attention. So you guys would then fly to Haiti yourselves, put it on donkeys, and ride it into the forest by yourselves on the donkeys. Is this correct?
Sort of. We would
Don't correct me during the show. Just go.
we put on a dump truck first.
All right, first on a dump truck.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you would eventually put it on donkeys and ride it up into the hills yourselves, because that's the only way it would get to the people who really needed it.
Yeah, we would go to places that didn't have access to medical supplies or water filtration systems that we would provide. Or
You could have a basic little water filtration, which looked like a like a little, water jug that you could clean the water with. It's life-saving.
yeah,
for them.
and then we would get this system. It's basically 2 5-gallon buckets, one inverted on top of the other, and you put the ceramic filter in there, and you could pour like river water that had like poo or whatever in it. You didn't know.
See, that's what you don't understand about what we now consider to be the fourth world nations, which are Haiti and those kind of nations. The designation means that they are drinking, bathing, and going to the bathroom in the same
Well,
water.
and they have no access to
Clean water, to basic supplies, to basic medical
fisheries
care.
are gone. There's no
There's no way to get food.
forestation. Yeah.
Right.
So
And-
they've depleted all their natural resources.
They've depleted all natural resources. There isn't any clean water supplies anymore. And whatever does come into the country, the corrupt leadership steals most of it. So how do you keep going and get around all that? And you guys did this for years. Eventually you had your own radio show in Haiti. You became like a huge star over there because you were one of the few people that was getting stuff through all that and getting it to the people.
How do we do it? Organization, a lot of communication and networking, and finding contacts that we vetted and
That were local, that you knew, and,
and finding indigenous people that had the same mindset and the same heartbeat and would work alongside you to get things to where they needed to go.
That's when I first met you and Dad. You came on as guests. You guys were going on a mission trip. We did a comedy show for you. We raised some money. But I was in awe of watching how often you did it. It wasn't just once in a while. Every year you guys went somewhere. You went to Dominican Republic, Haiti, El Salvador, China. How do you have the energy to keep going, to keep doing with that, and when you're up against so much? The adversity is so great when you're doing that.
Well, because you believe that that's your mandate. If you believe that's what the Great Commission is, to go into all the world and preach the gospel and to do all those things Jesus told us to do, then it becomes who you are and how you operate.
Which was the most difficult country to go to?
China.
China was the most difficult? They couldn't handle a girl like you, could they?
They did not like 5'9" girls. Let me just tell you.
5'9" blondes they couldn't go for?
No, they didn't
There
go
aren't a
for
lot of
me.
those over there, are there?
No, they didn't go for me.
No, so they didn't care for you at all.
Well, there was like a couple. So it was, Christianity is outlawed in China. So we almost got arrested a couple times doing some outreaches and such. But there was a few people that really liked me because I was a girl and I was kind of setting an example for the other girls there in China. And there was people that didn't want anything to do with me and they only wanted Dad. So it was kind of like
But they're the two
it
you
balanced
are.
out.
Son, there you are, father and daughter. You're in China preaching. You're basically the two of you, right? I mean, you're not scared to death doing all that? How the heck you guys just go over there and just run for it?
Well, I was with my dad.
Yeah?
I don't, I'm with you. I'm not scared. If I was with my dad, I'm not scared.
Well, that's a good point.
He might have been, but he didn't show it.
I mean, that's
And
powerful.
we're Irish, so
But you did a lot of those trips, did a lot of good, saved a lot of lives. Do you think about it now? Do you sit back and think of the totality of it over all those years? It was more than a dozen years of going all over the place.
I don't really. I miss it because Colin and Liam went with us almost everywhere except for China.
So your two sons literally grew up on the mission field. Colin and Liam literally.
I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Yeah,
And we
but-
named Life in Action Mission after Liam, Liam. So
But you've trained them to be outreach leaders now. They still are. We've done outreach here. We did outreach in Florida still, and they instinctively already know what to do and how. There's a way to approach. There's a way to talk to people when you're first reaching
They're
out.
just so comfortable with people of lesser socioeconomic means, I guess.
Wow, that's a good way of putting it, huh? That was really
They
smooth.
are very, when
That
you're.
means they're cool with poor people.
They are, and growing up
Because we are
in
poor people.
Florida, all their closest friends were, Latino or black or whatever, anything.
Right.
They didn't really hang out with other white kids. So it was who they are, and it's still who they are.
And I want to ask you this question. It's important. I've asked you this before, but the people that you minister to in Haiti, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, China, there's a whole different level of appreciation. There's a whole different value of life system there than there is here, isn't there? Like, they're really appreciative just of anything.
I remember the first time I had went to Haiti before my dad went with me, and the first time he went, he was mesmerized by a little 8-year-old girl who went back and forth to get water for her household. She had a 5-gallon bucket on her head, and she would go fill it up,
And then carry it all the way back herself.
carry it up, back, and she did 8 trips.
Oh my goodness.
And that was her day, every day. But she was singing the entire time. Happy, singing, joyful. And I remember we had a medical clinic set up in one of the mountains, and it was advertised on the radio, which was run off of solar panels and a backup generator. And it ran for like 3 hours a night. And we'd advertised that we were going to be in this certain place to do this medical clinic. You can come get free, parasite meds. Every girl had a STD, so we gave out a lot of treatment for that. We gave out a lot of vitamins and other
See,
things.
we don't have to worry about parasites or poop in the drinking water and all those things. We take all that for granted, and if the cable's fuzzy, we get irked, okay? But meanwhile, that girl's walking with a 5-gallon water on her
Yeah.
head back and forth, and she's happy.
So this really old lady came, and she told the translator that it took her 6 hours to walk there. And while she was waiting to get seen by the doctor and the nurse, Dad went up to her with the translator and said, "Hey, you don't have to, but if you want any prayer, I'd be happy to pray for you." And that's kind of how we approach it. We don't force things on people.
Right,
But
yeah,
if
yeah.
you want it, you can have it. And she told him that she needed some prayer for her back. And so Dad prayed for her back, and within minutes, her back straightened up and she had no pain. And then she started to leave. And Dad's like, wait, your turn to go see the doctor. She's like, I don't need the doctor now. So she walked 6 hours,
Got prayed over.
got prayed over, got healed, and then walked 6 hours home and didn't even want vitamins, didn't even want anything.
See, if I got to go to Walmart to get my prescription, I'm already exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm angry if there's anything that gets in the way of the simplest little things that we have to deal with. There is just such a difference to, when you come back, you're forever changed.
And it's hard to come back because even to go to, Deerbergs or Schnucks or whatever, and just all the choices and all the, visually and sensory-wise is just too overwhelming for a while. And
When you come back.
To come back.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to kind of break off of that.
Wow.
It's hard to come back.
So we need to, the lesson of that conversation right here is that we need to take things less for granted and appreciate more of what we got.
Absolutely.
Because again, we take the simple things for granted, that the water is going to come out of the faucet, that the electricity is going to work, that the food in the supermarket is fresh. But they live every day not knowing if any of those things will ever be part of their reality.
Yeah, and if we even I remember once we brought pillows. You guys have.
Oh yeah, we got cool pillows.
To have something like this would be life-changing.
It's life-changing for you too. This pillow can change your
Right.
life, okay? Because again, it can help with the heat reduction, it's soft, it's brand new, and it's the right kind of pillows. It means a difference in how you sleep.
Absolutely.
And so for them, they'd be so happy to get something like this, wouldn't they?
Oh, it would change their lives.
See? A pillow can in fact change your life, which is why you need to come on over here today to Marshall Home and Mattress Direct. Between 10 and 8 today, we're open every day of the week. Come on by, get yourself a new pillow, because you know that neck's bothering you, and you know you're hot. Every night you're hot. I know that your hair gets sweaty, right? These have those cooler things that sucks that heat out, okay, and makes you cooler while you're sleeping. That makes all the difference in the world. All right, we're going to take a break. You can have that one. No, you can't. Sorry. All right, when we come back, I want to talk to you about Operation Restore Hope, the butterfly tattoo, and your course that you did. You have a 6-week course that you did on healing and another course that you did on transformation, correct? And we're going to hear about all of that and more when we come back with the Mrs. Pastor, Shannon Elizabeth Fitzpatrick O'Shea. Is there anything else you want to stick in there?
No.
You sure? Queen of the May, any other stuff?
Lover
Princess?
of this couch.
Lover of this couch,
Yeah.
the Webster, which is here for you. It's beautiful, so soft like mink. All right, don't go anywhere. We're going to wrap it up with all these big topics with Shannon when we come right back. Sleepless in St. Louis.
Get the best price on brand name mattresses at Mattress Direct. Order online or at a factory direct Beauty Rest showroom in your neighborhood. You'll get the guaranteed lowest price, and the non-commissioned sleep specialist will make sure you get the right mattress for the way you get to sleep. When you shop local, you get more mattress for your money, like these Missouri-made hybrid mattresses starting at just $198. You'll sleep better knowing you got the best price on the right mattress when you shop local at St. Louis Mattress Direct.
DOV, it's delivery day. Another satisfied customer.
Hi, my name is Dominic. I'm a sleep specialist here at Mattress Direct, and I've been working for Mattress Direct coming up on 3 years now. The first thing I ask a customer is, is there anything in particular you're looking for? A lot of times people like to kind of pre-shop online, and if there's something that they've seen online or they've heard from a friend that they really want to try, I want to make sure they're able to try that. I also love to ask, what they're sleeping on now. It gives me a good idea, what you do and do not like about it, what's going to be the best solution for you going forward, and what's going to be a great purchase for you in the long run. The thing I like about working at Mattress Direct is that, I really feel like I'm helping people,
Hey everybody, welcome back. Sleepless in St. Louis. I'm your host, Pete O'Shea, and we're here at Marshall Home and Mattress Direct, the big showroom where you can have everything you need for your home. You can come right here and get it. Marshall Home and Mattress Direct, 925 Northwest Plaza in Bridgeton. You know where we are, where St. Charles Rock Road meets up to Lindbergh. Come right on in here to the shopping center and see us today. My guest is my wife, Pastor Shannon Elizabeth O'Shea, Fitzpatrick O'Shea. I have to get all that in, I'm so sorry. Isn't it ironic that you could be on the Olympic sleeping team and I now work at a mattress store?
Well, I really like sleeping.
You're very, very good at it. Sleep rules!
It does rule.
Right? But it is kind of cool now that we work at a mattress store,
Did you know I used to work here at Northwest Plaza?
You used to work here in Northwest Plaza too?
Yeah, I used to run that St. Louis bread company that used to be. This used to be like an amazing mall, and even in high school, I used to skip school and go hang out at the mall.
You used to skip school.
They even had a glamour shots in there.
Is the truant officer for Hazelwood School District still available? Come on by, because I got somebody right here who has. You're right. Does this mall look and feel the same?
No.
No, huh?
No. When I was a kid, it was like an open air mall. They had lots of fountains. We used to go to Famous Bar and eat French onion soup. That was like a big deal. And then it turned into like more of an 80s mall in the 80s.
In the 80s, yeah. And then the movie there's the drive-in theater down the street. You used to go to that too, right?
Mm-hmm. That was when I was little.
What's it like now to come back? What triggers the memories?
Kind of weird that it's not like it was, but because I kind of missed that.
What triggers the memories? Seeing something, smelling something?
Smells more than anything. Food smells.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
All right, let's get into this last couple of topics here, because I really want to hit these hard with you because they're very important, okay? So part of Life in Action Mission, which is the nonprofit organization we talked about in the last segment that you and your dad founded together. You're both pastors. You have 2 masters, one in divinity, one in theology. Life in Action Mission started 14 years ago. It's a nonprofit. You've been on mission trips all over the world, a lot of outreach, hygiene kits, Bible tracts, food, local here, migrant workers, the poor, everybody like that. You also, though, we do a lot with human sex trafficking.
Yeah, so if you looked at Liam as the umbrella, we would have the church, the healing tour, and then Operation Restore Hope, which is the human trafficking arm of it.
And the healing tour is Shannon and I coming out and speak. We've both written books about our miracle healings. Mine is called Pain Was My Friend. Hers is Scars That Heal. Have us out to your church, and we'll share with you our stories of how the good Lord healed us.
So the reason Operation Restore Hope came to be is we were doing a lot of work in the Dominican Republic, and a lot of people vacation there. There's a lot of all-inclusive properties down there, and it's beautiful. However, you walk 2 blocks down the street, and you know it's complete devastation, and there's prostitutes everywhere. So what I learned was the DR was number 4 in the world for sex slavery,
Wow.
for human trafficking. Human trafficking encompasses a lot of other things besides sex slavery,
It's
but
also labor trafficking.
labor,
and-
and indentured servitude and some other things that we'd see in Haiti. But in the DR, it's more sex slavery. And we partnered with a lot of safe houses. We got a lot of people off the streets and into rehabilitation and hope and opportunities to learn trades other than what they were forced to do.
Other what they were forced to. 60s, 70s, into the 80s, the number 1 industry in the world is the selling of drugs, because everybody wanted illegal drugs. Then it kind of switches gear. That's now the number 2 industry in the world. And the number 1 industry in our world today, boys and girls, is the buying and selling of other human beings. Because you can sell the drug only once in the day.
An average time a person is sold per day is 20 times a day.
Yeah, and you can keep doing that every single time.
20 times a day. So if you, and the average target market right now where groomers are being sent to lure kids in is ages 7 through 14.
7 through 14.
Suburban kids.
Suburban kids who are either in the foster care system and age out, or who are from a situation where one of the parents isn't engaged.
Well, not even that. Just,
Okay.
just kids waiting for the bus or kids at
So
the
they're
mall.
just snatching those ones up. They're just coming up from
Or
behind.
they're
with-
kind of grooming them, like, here, come on, I'll give you, I'll buy you a vape, or, like, they'll kind of lure them into something
Sure. And then they
Yeah.
got them. So the
Yeah.
number 1 thing you and I used to hear was, because in Florida, it's number 2 in the country there in Florida for
In
human
the Tampa
trafficking.
Bay area,
Tampa
yeah.
Bay area would be that the groomer would come up and say, hey, I'll get you something to eat. I'll get you a room for the night. You look like you need some help. And then 2 or 3 days later, now, here's the bill that you can never pay, and then you're never seen from again.
Yeah, and drugs are a factor in that. They get them hooked on things and then threatening to
Hurt their
expose-
families. The number 1 human trafficker in the world today is a grandmother in Mexico. Is that true?
Yeah.
And so she sends women out, well-dressed, in Escalades, and they go to the family's homes. They throw $50 down on the table, and they say, if your daughter comes with us, we'll have her a job as a maid in a hotel in Manhattan, and we'll send you $50 every single week.
Yep.
And then we never see that child again.
Right. So we did a lot of work in other countries with human trafficking, but then it was really impressed upon me, like, what is actually happening in our own country and how can we help? And so the research started, and that's when we started doing more work, especially we were living in the Tampa Bay area at the time. It was number 2 in the country. So we did a lot of seminars educating community leaders and just anyone.
Educating all right, but here's why you need education. You were on the show around that time, and we had the task force for human trafficking on the same day with us.
Correct.
And the stories they were telling us, they told us about a multi-million-dollar house on the water in Treasure Island. When they went inside, there was no furniture. There were just 45 girls stacked on top of each other like logs. They were drugged out of their mind, and the average age was 9.
Correct.
And that wasn't happening in a horrible area. That wasn't happening in a place where, nobody can see. That was right out in the open in a multi-million-dollar house in what could have been your neighborhood.
Correct.
And that's happening prevalent all over the country, but especially in big cities, New York, St. Louis, Chicago.
And we can't bury
Tampa.
our heads in the sand and pretend it doesn't exist. But there, other than education and getting people to know about this, because a lot of people don't, or they don't want to know because it seems too intimidating or too
They don't want to know.
scary.
We just bury our heads in the sand.
Yeah.
It's too hard to even think of it, so we play ostrich on this thing.
Right. But that's a horrible way to live. It's a horrible existence to think that, it could be our kids, it could be our we have a 7-year-old grandson.
You and I have
know?
met people who spent years literally handcuffed to a radiator and didn't know what city they were in and had no idea how they were ever going to get loose from it, and they were literally being sex trafficked 20, 30 times a day. This isn't just happening in remote, dark areas where you don't want to go. This is happening all over the world, and it's happening right here in St. Louis also.
So this is how we kind of launched part of what we were doing, other than the education. I had a youth group at my home for years. We had a swimming pool, kids would come over, and it was just kind of like a great place to hang out. It was a safe place, and they would jump in the pool after youth group. One of the girls, you could tell she really wanted to get in the pool, and I thought, well, maybe she didn't bring a bathing suit, maybe she wanted to borrow one of mine. I had some extras. I took her into my room, I showed her what I had, and she burst into tears. While she was into tears, she showed me something that scared the crap out of me.
What did she show you?
She was branded
Oh my God! So
in
she
2
had a.
places on her body. She was branded by her former trafficker, and because of the branding and the location of them, it would have been visible in a bathing suit. So what we did was I took her to a local tattoo parlor. She picked out 2 of the most beautiful, colorful butterflies, and we had those covered up. Those,
So you put the butterflies over the branding, and now it's the butterflies you see, and not the branding.
the reason we chose butterflies is that is a sign of restoration. That is a sign of transformation, of a metamorphosis. So you are no longer that person that was victimized, that was put down by your trafficker. You are now set free. You can do whatever you choose to do in life, and you don't have to be reminded of that every time you get out of the shower and every time you look in the mirror.
And now you're a beautiful butterfly. And that goes into the next thing. You have a 3-part transformation series that you teach with people. I saw you do a lesson on it just a couple of weeks ago. And it is about transformation, and the butterfly is what you use. You go from the larvae stage, and over the 3-week period, as it's changing, that's your lesson to teach us about life too, going from one thing metamorphosizing into another.
And as that caterpillar forms that chrysalis and is in that chrysalis, it at that point liquefies. And while it's liquefying, it loses all of its feet, so it can't move, it's immobilized, but it gains 6 set of eyes. So when you're under the pressure of life, or you feel like you're stuck and you can't move, sometimes it's a process of transformation, and we get 6 new sets of eyes. We get a new perspective on where we're at in our life. I mean, we're in this huge transition phase. We got wiped out by the hurricane. We lost everything. We're financially way behind the 8 ball. But that being said, we're now in an opportunity in our lives where we can do some new things. We can be around our family. We can help out mom.
We had already ministered to pretty much every church there was in the Tampa Bay area, you and I. We had done the healing tour pretty much everywhere. So to come here, it is a blank canvas. It is a fresh start to serve, to give back, to take what happened to us, take that test and turn it into a testimony, the mess and turn it into a message, take what would have knocked a lot of people out and turn it into good.
Yep.
Right? So we came here, the wind blew us 1,100 miles. But it's not a tragedy, it's an opportunity, right?
You have to look at it that way. Yeah.
But how can you get people to understand that? Because everyone I mention it to, and I say that to them, it's an opportunity, not a tragedy. They all look at me like I'm crazy because we lost everything and we're literally bankrupt at the moment.
Well, what's the alternative? Depression, anxiety, sickness. you know, you got to make a choice.
You still have more positive than you do negative. We still have unconditional love
We're
all
alive,
around
our
us.
kids
We're
are
alive.
alive, our dog's alive.
It was 155-mile-an-hour winds for 15 hours, and none of us has a scratch.
Right.
28 people that lived in our county that day died. That whole town that we loved, that we went to visit just 2 weeks earlier, the entire town was wiped out, and neighbors who had known each other for 30 years couldn't get each other out in time, and they drowned it right in front of each other. So again, you have to put the right perspective on it and look at things the right way. And if you do, you can accentuate your positives and look forward, look ahead still with hope instead of hopelessness, right?
And you wrote a course on hope that is one of the best courses I think I've ever heard on this subject. Living a life of sustained hope.
And I made hope an anagram, I guess, basically,
Yeah.
right? So it's humility, opportunity, power, and expectation.
Right.
That's what we need hope to be. And hope is something you literally possess, and you can shine it, and you can make it better, and you can make it stronger, and you can lend it to other people.
That person can take it.
Yes, you can give it some to other. I got hope to burn. I'm a hope dealer. I'll give you some. I'll sell you a dime bag of hope right now. Right? We need to be that kind of person and be very, very specific in our mindset to
Right.
stay hopeful, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You did a 6-week course on healing, so that goes with my course. You take my course first, Hope. It's the prerequisite course because she's the teacher, not me. I'm just a baloney expert. But you are a scriptural teacher. Right, you have the two masters. So you took scripture and then you took the word heal. You made another acronym and you did a 6-week course also. Tell me about that.
That is more on emotional healing, healing of the soul. The soul is your mind, it's your will, it's your emotions. It's how you think, it's how you feel, it's the choices you make.
Okay.
So I took that and tied it into some life experience I've had early on, overcoming some things that a lot of women overcome, but also knowing that it's a key component to also physical healing as well.
Emotional and spiritual healing most often has to come first before you can physically heal, right? Because if your mindset, your spirit isn't right, your body's never going to get right, right?
So that one's called Healing from the Inside Out.
Okay. All right, so you mentioned something. So many have gone through so much. If you're, on this planet, you've been traversing it a bit, you've got some pain, you've got some issues, you've got some trauma, you have some triggers. We all have them. Quite often, a lot of your work is helping people through that, even though you yourself have had so many. I'm always impressed with you, darling, about your courage and those kind of things, to stand up to what you already went through and use it to help other people.
And I've been given some great opportunities to do that. I ran a sexual assault program at a rape crisis center. I got to work with a lot of kids this past year doing mental health mentoring and education. And now I'm transitioning into more disaster relief.
How ironic is that you're now going to go to work for a company that's helping people with disaster relief right
Right.
after a disaster destroyed you? How does that feel? Is that irony or what?
I kind of like it, yeah. And it's funded by FEMA, and FEMA didn't do one thing for us. So.
FEMA literally said to us when they showed up at our house, your situation doesn't suck enough for us to care. And now they are funding your new job.
Right?
How is that for irony?
I like it.
I like it too. All right, wrap this up in a pretty bow for us. For those who are listening, we've been talking about self-care a lot on this show, and getting enough rest, taking good care of yourself, putting the right mattress on so you spend the extra money, you're worth it,
Well,
kind of thing. How do we get
I would
everybody to
say
feel that?
to tag on to what you just said, self-care is not a selfish thing. It's imperative. So to have a good night's sleep, to be properly rested. I mean, the world throws a lot of weird stuff at you every day. But if you have a good mattress, you have a good pillow, you have a nice, comfy place where you can, this is my sanctuary. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing.
Right, so if you have the perfect living room set that you like this and you're super comfy in it and the whole family can kick back and you got that mattress with the adjustable base, those are your sanctuary pieces. That's the stuff that's going to give you the peace that you need in this
And
world.
those are it's okay, babe. Those are imperative things. Those are not, splurging.
Right, people see those as splurging things. They're not. Those are necessities for self-care and to have that peace that you need to be able to go forward in this world.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, any other further points or last-ish thoughts that you might have, my dear?
No, but I'm pretty proud of you. You're a pretty good guy.
How's that?
And you're hair matches this.
I keep it like this for you because you like it like
I
this.
do like it. Well,
Okay, I got to put more mousse than Canada in there just to keep it going.
feels softer?
Which one feels softer?
Wait,
Here, Pat
hold on.
wants to know which one feels softer. Okay. Well,
the hair.
The hair feels
I
softer.
gotta go
than-
with the hair, Pat. You know.
Softer,
Not for sale.
softer than this.
No, this is definitely soft.
You can buy the hair, but you can't finance it. You gotta give me cash. Anything else in the building, LTO, we can do it 90 days, same as cash, or 60 months, no interest. But on this wonderful couch, you can own a love seat or that or anything. You can get this wonderful tiger, anything
I'm
you
all
want.
about the Tina Turner, by the way.
Right, we got the new chairs. All of the chairs are named after musicians. We got the Hawthorne, the Hathaway, the Joplin, the Turner, the
St.
Berry.
Louis musician.
All this
Yeah.
stuff is named after St. Louis. All right, if they want to learn more about Life in Action Mission, all the cool things you're doing, how do they learn more about what you're doing?
Our website, lifeinactionmission.com. We have a couple Facebook pages. The Life in Action Mission is one. The Healing Tour and Operation Restore Hope is the other. And then on Instagram, Liam for Jesus, and we're everywhere.
All right, well, now I got to say it back to you. I literally got to now that you said it. I wasn't gonna, but now I'm gonna say it. I'm proud of you, too.
Are you?
No, because we came back here, we lost everything, and the first thing you wanted to do when we got back here, all kidding aside, was relaunch Liam here. We went down to the state office, you relaunched the Life in Action Mission. We said we were going to make the most out of having to come here. We were going to do this to honor your dad. And you didn't just say it, you actually did it, and you are doing it. And
Well, you're doing it too, babe.
well, that's the way to get it done. All right, guys, so you heard it all here now. So self-care is important. It's not just something you have to do because everybody tells you to do it. It's something you need to want to do and say, I deserve it. I'm worthy of it. I'm worthy of having a really nice mattress and having an adjustable base. To come in here and get the Webster and get this super soft mink coat feeling couch that's just you're gonna be able to melt into. You deserve all of that, okay? So come on in here and get it. Come today, we'll set you up. You can finance the whole thing, one easy payment, and you can get everything you need for your living room, your dining room, your bedroom, everything, all in one shot, okay? And if you come in today, Brenda can help you stage it all. And you can we have a lot of this in stock too. The new Marshall Home Collection is in stock. Come and get it, all the new sets. Brenda do a great job on picking all the new sets.
She did.
All of them are so beautiful, so functional, and at fantastic prices.
She
All
always
right?
smells good, too.
Yeah, she always does. smell good.
Caveat, yeah.
So don't forget too, on Tuesday's show, America's Funniest Comedian David Graham is going to be here, and Comedy Sports Mike McGuire. Those are both really funny guys, really cool guys. They'll be with us on Tuesday, Sleepless in St. Louis. Until then, come see us this weekend. We're here at Marshall Home and Mattress Direct all weekend long. Ruggapalooza continues. All the best stuff right here for you. Come and see us soon. Thanks so much for being our guest today, Dawn. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
We'll see you next time on Sleepless in St. Louis. I'm Pete O'Shea.